roll this one down. Roll that one down too. Hey, don't roll the window up. Don't roll the window up. Do not roll the window up. Lock the doors now. Unlock the doors now. Unlock the doors now. Open the door now. Open the door now. Open the door now. I'm 6-4 David. Shots fired. Shots fired. Hey! Hey!
And that is just the beginning of the shooting. Again, 96 shots fired within the span of just 41 seconds. COPA's analysis of this video indicates that the man behind the wheel there, 26-year-old Dexter Reed, indeed fired first. The catalyst for this stop, which is a little curious here, you don't usually have 5 officers in plain clothes addressing a traffic stop, but I'm sure that will be something we will hear more about in the press conference, which is coming your way in about 13 minutes.
Hello and welcome to the channel where we talk about recent events that get people talking. Today, let's dive into what happened to Dexter Reed in Chicago with the police. Now, the video that you just saw shows Dexter Reed's encounter with the police, and it's raising a lot of questions about how the police handle things in this case. Now, when I looked into Dexter Reed's background, I found out that he had some legal troubles before this. Now, the news is reporting that he was involved in a recent incident, maybe a month before this. However, I found that he was facing charges for having a gun illegally and for stealing from 2023. Now, despite these charges, it appears that he was out on bail for the gun charge when this incident happened, which might explain his decisions during the stop. Because had the police found the firearm on him during the stop, he would likely have been arrested and his bail revoked. However, it begs the question, where was the firearm in the car? Because if it was not in plain view and he was just being stopped for a seatbelt violation, the police really would not have had any reason to search the car, right? I mean, having a seatbelt violation does not give a police officer license to search your car. Having a dark tint on your window does not give a police officer license to search your car. So, if the firearm was under the seat or in a hidden compartment, it's possible they might not have even seen it at all, right? Also, a lingering question about why there were 4 or 5 police officers present for a traffic stop. Now, we didn't see everything that happened. We didn't see the stop itself. So it's possible that he was stopped by one police car and that the others were called in for a backup after he refused to comply with rolling down his windows, etc. We're not clear on that, and those details haven't been provided to us. So it will be interesting to see those other details come out. Are, of course, criticizing the stop. They're saying, at first the police said that he was pulled over because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, but it turns out that they could have also stopped him because the windows were too dark. The tint on the windows, there are laws on the books about that in Illinois and in several other states. Many people are saying that the stop was pretextual, meaning that the police used the small thing like the seatbelt as an excuse to stop him, but he was stopped maybe for another reason. I'm hearing this all over the news. I'm not sure what the official police position is. If they're saying that he was officially stopped for a seatbelt violation, that's really going to be hard to explain. Now, because how do you see if someone's wearing a seatbelt or not when the vehicle is moving? That kind of doesn't make sense. So I'm interested to see what the official police reports say, because so far we've only gotten the information from the media. And my concern is that if this is what the police are going to stick with, that it was for a seatbelt violation, and they're not going to be able to be convincing enough about it being a seatbelt violation and how they were able to determine that from a moving car, then I think they are going to cost the taxpayers in Chicago probably a few million, if the stop is determined to be unconstitutional. They may have to pay that to the estate of Dexter Reed. And so that's something that I am interested in seeing what the official police reports say. Other people are criticizing the police for the number of times that they fired. So during the stop, obviously, as you saw, things got pretty serious. The reports are stating that Dexter Reed fired at the police first and one officer was injured. And then in response, the police fired about 96 times, which a lot of people are calling excessive. Now, I'm going to say this. You have 5 police officers, and a suspect firing at them first. Now, apparently, the reports state that at some point, after the firing started, that Dexter Reed exited the vehicle, which tells me that the initial shots didn't actually harm him or neutralize him, which is what the police seem to be trying to do. And so they continue to fire. Was that excessive? I think excessive is relative. However, I think that according to the law, the police are allowed to meet the kind of force that they were met with the same kind of force. And so I think by law, they were legally justified in returning fire. And so I do not believe that there are going to be any criminal charges here that the police are going to face, but it's my understanding that the family is calling for that. I do, however, believe that in order to appease the public, in order to appease the family, I do see the city of Chicago handing over some tax dollars to the family. And I think they may use the circumstances surrounding the stop in order to justify that. Now, there's a lot of community anger about what happened. It's always tragic when a young person loses their life. There's a family currently in mourning, and my heart goes out to them, regardless of whatever the decisions were made by Mr. Reed. However, a tragedy doesn't always equal or amount to a criminal act being done by the police. And in this case, it simply does not seem like the police acted outside of the bounds of the law. Now, what do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from you and keep the conversation going. Do you think that the police use of force was excessive? Do you think that it is what is to be expected if you open fire on police? Sound off in the comments. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to having more discussions with you in the future.